Landman Episode 8 essentially marks the beginning of the end of the first season of the show, as there are only 3 episodes left. But without a doubt, I feel like these 3 episodes could be the most explosive, and we've seen our fair share of explosions in the show so far. Following what's being described as a filler episode of Landman, with episode 7 being one that slowed the pace right down and allowed us to do some character building. Those very characters that we saw being built up look set to get knocked down before the finale, with Ainsley looking like she's going to be in danger, and the same being said for Cooper in a completely different way. I thought I'd give my theories and predictions on what I think could happen when the show returns next week. So let's get into it. Here is Landman Episode 8 Theories Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Cooper could be facing multiple threats. Cooper is the character that I think is at the most risk at the moment as we embark into the next episode. He's taken the most hits already out of all of the Norris family members, and I don't think that's going to stop. During the climax of episode 7, we saw that Rebecca was smiling at Cooper when he entered the room which Ariana was in, whilst Rebecca was trying to get Ariana to sign the settlement offer of $250,000, which would relinquish any responsibility from MTEX for the Medina's deaths. This is something that Ariana was extremely suspicious about because she didn't understand why there was an offer in place if they hadn't felt as though they'd done anything wrong, so she was dragging her feet with the signing of the papers. Rebecca smiled when she found out that Norris was there because she was cooking up a plan inside of her head. I think there are 2 completely different things that could happen with this. The first thing that we could see happen is that Rebecca could look to use Cooper as a pawn in her game of getting Ariana to sign the papers. She knows that Cooper was there on the day that the Medinas died and that he was the sole survivor out of the crew, so she could look to pin the blame on him for their deaths, which could lead Cooper to be facing jail time. With Cooper and Ariana getting to know each other and starting a new kind of relationship and there clearly being feelings between the both of them, that's something that Ariana most likely wouldn't want to see happen, and it might prompt her to sign the papers so that she can keep him safe. Plus, the other Medina family members aren't set to get their money until she signs the papers as well, so it's another reason for her to do so. Another option which I think is also a viable theory came from a commenter on my episode 7 breakdown, and they said that Rebecca could still look to pin the blame on Cooper, but make out like it was done as a way of getting the Medinas out of the picture, so it would be framed as a deliberate killing. This could potentially be framed as that because Cooper and Ariana are together, and it might be viewed as it being done as a way of getting her previous partner out of the picture so that they could get their happy ending together. I think that's something that would be interesting to see unfolding, and it would most probably get Ariana to sign the papers because that would be a flat out lie. It would show a completely different side to Rebecca as well. We've seen that she can be an intelligent force when in an argument, especially in her profession, but if she goes down this route, we could see a real sinister, manipulative side to her. Within the synopsis for the next episode, it says that Rebecca grows suspicious of Cooper, so I think she's going to ruin her relationship with Tommy and look to throw Cooper under the bus. Another threat that Cooper could be facing is something that ties back to what his father said to him when he left the hospital in episode 7. Tommy mentioned to him that going to stay at Ariana's was a bit of a stupid decision considering what happened to him due to being associated with her, especially now that he's like a wounded animal and is at his weakest. Not only is he still lingering around Ariana, but Manny and Antonio are now looking at going to prison for their attack on him, something which people will also blame him for. There are several other people that were involved in the attack on Cooper that are still out there that might not be happy about him cozying up to Ariana. But now also add into the mix that their brothers have also been arrested. That seems like a cocktail for another beating, and maybe even worse. They might actually try and finish off the job this time. I actually think we might see Cooper kill in this season of the show. He's facing so many different threats, and he did mention before to Manny that if he pointed a gun at him one more time, then it would be the last. So I don't think he'll be afraid of killing if it needs to be done. We know that he can fight, so if he finds himself in a situation with 1 or 2 other people, damage might well end up being done. So I think we might see that unfolding in the next episode. Ainsley could be in danger. Tommy's frustrating yet beloved daughter is another person that I think is going to be in danger moving forward into the next episode. Whilst she was out at her first party and after she met Ryder Sampson, when her father took her away, we saw that in the distance there was a man that was watching Tommy as he was with his daughter. This is something that I feel shows that the cartel are going to be finding new ways of getting Tommy to get Monty to pay the money that the cartel feel that they're owed following their product being destroyed in episode 1 on the road. Tommy has threatened the cartel on multiple occasions when they've confronted him, and they've clearly got to the point where they're frustrated with the fact that he's not listening and responding to them, something that they're probably not used to. So by targeting his daughter and holding her hostage until they get their money, that's a more personal approach that will most definitely get him to listen to what they're saying and not respond how he usually does. We've got to remember as well, Monty has just made a deal that's going to allow him to drill into more areas on that land, and the cartel explicitly said that their boss said that there was to be no more drilling in the ground until they got their money. So this new deal could be something that accelerates their plan and idea of targeting Tommy in a more personal way by kidnapping his daughter. For some other reason as well, I can also see Ryder being killed in the crossfire here. I think they're going to probably take her whilst she's with him, and they'll just view him as disposable. One thing that I think could go in Tommy's favour though is the GPS tracker that Angela put on her daughter's phone. I think that might be the one way that Tommy will be able to tell where she is. I did say in my episode 7 breakdown that I thought it just felt too deliberate having that being a key feature in the episode, and I think that's because it's going to play an important role in the story. Do I think Ainsley's going to die? No, I definitely don't. But I think with him getting her back, it'll make Tommy want to get his kids as far away from West Texas as possible. He already had that thought about Cooper following him being hospitalized, and I can see him also thinking the same thing about his daughter if she manages to survive the cartel. Tommy and Angela will lose it all again. With both Ainsley and Cooper looking like they're going to be in danger in completely different capacities, this is going to be occurring at the exact same time. I also think this will be something that will be tied into what we saw in the earlier episodes of the season, where Tommy and Angela's relationship suffered when the oil crash happened, and they said that they lost it all. With their 2 children being in danger, they're going to be on the cusp of losing it all again in a completely different way. But this time, I think their relationship will be tested in a different way too. I don't think we'll see it suffer, crumble, and break down like it did in the past. I think we'll see the both of them come together and look to save their daughter and son from the different troubles that they're in, something which will mark true character development from the both of them. Outside of the main plots in the episode, I also feel we're going to be seeing Angela just doing her thing and loitering around and doing anything and everything to keep herself busy. I imagine we'll see her back at the care home and drinking her day away with the elderly people. There are a few different directions that the next episode of the show could go in when it returns, but this is the direction that I'm thinking it's most likely going to go in based on what we've had so far and the main trailer that we got for the entirety of the season. Man, I wish they released weekly preview trailers. So, there you have it, Landman Episode 8 Theories Explained. If you want to see a breakdown of Landman Episode 7, then click on the card in the top corner, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. I'll be covering the rest of the show, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the future breakdowns. What do you think will happen next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.